And we are back. Couch Company Podcast. I'm John. With me as always, Tyler.
Hello. I'm here.
You're here.
Yeah. I never know what to say.
Me neither.
I'm with you as always.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And we got Game Awards season.
Yeah.
10th anniversary?
10 years, yeah.
Of Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, specifically.
Did it seem like, not to just jump right in,
yeah,
but did it seem like he kept saying, like, hey, thanks for believing in me?
Yeah.
Like, he was making it very personal. Is that weird?
Isn't it his thing?
It is his thing. It is. It's just like before, it always seemed like other years, it's all like, the Game Awards, the Game Awards, the Game Awards. Now it's like, me.
Well, dude,
and the Game Awards.
Did you see his suit? He's full
gone
of
Hollywood,
himself.
yeah.
He's gone Hollywood, man.
That was a brooch.
His like $5 million brooch.
Yeah, diamond. Was it a flower or a snowflake?
I think it was a flower.
Yeah.
He's a flower. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it just seemed like it's his thing. It's like his baby or whatever.
Look,
so, I don't know.
If he made something big like that where you're getting...
He probably like invested a lot into that, you know? His own, whatever.
I don't know if it's still like this, but he's like, for 3 months, he's like off. So like they just finished and he has like a couple months to just kind of like relax.
Yeah.
And then like it's starting... February, March or whatever, it's just like right back of like just getting it ready for the next one. Well,
he's got 2 things a year, right?
Well, yeah, now it's summer games, so I don't even know if he gets a break. Yeah, maybe he's just like...
So he's probably already on to that.
He walked off stage and immediately started calling other people.
Phone calls,
like,
yeah.
All right, E3, let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about this. It seems like it's probably much harder than it looks. I'm sure it is, like hosting a huge event like that, but it does seem like the best job in the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Just flying around. I was in
I got to check out this game. I got to check out that game.
Yeah.
I know everyone wants to be a part of this thing. Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like
it's nice because it gives the indie developers a little bit of a boost too. It seems like people were like Jeff mentioned this too. There's a lot of respect on that stage. Like a lot of people were just like
who they were calling out and
yeah.
I mean, it's a tight-knit community, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure game development, they all know each other. They all obviously respect each other. The more this goes for anything, the more you know about a certain skill or whatever and do it and understand how difficult it is, you're going to have that mutual respect and whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like in sports, like a lot of those guys know each other and
well, they also get kind of catty.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I guess maybe I'm sure there's definitely rivalries in the video game world. Is there anything in that book, definitely. The Blizzard book?
Yeah, so it was interesting. Like Blizzard, like they would be at like trade shows and stuff. And I think it was StarCraft because they were just calling it Purple Warcraft at the time. And they sat. I forget who they were sat next to. Might have been like Age of Empires or something.
Okay, and
they sat next to him at the trade show. They played like a demo of it, and they were just like, "Oh, they're better than us." And that spurred them to then scrap everything they did and like redo it, and it's this whole big thing. And I think I mentioned it, but it's like the other team when they heard about that like years later and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, we sat next to you and you guys just blew us away, so we had to like redo everything. They laughed because it's like, dude, that thing was holding on by like a thread. Yeah, like that's the underlying thing is like game development is like just complete chaos until like the last like month when everything just like coalesces into
I don't
something
think I
playable.
could be able to do that.
No, it's
like
insane.
I don't have that foresight or vision to see. It's like I talked to Jeff about this a lot too. Our good friend Jeff.
Yeah.
What Killed Jeff? Check him out on Twitch. Great streams. It's like artists have this foresight, can see the end product, right? Like so Jeff does like physical art, right? Like pottery and stuff, I think.
Yeah.
He's going to kill me. But like I just see a ball of clay, but he can see the end product. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't have that.
And a good director is like, okay, this is how you get there.
100%.
And that's the thing where it's like the book what was it called? Play Hard or something. Jason Schreier just wrote it. But it is very much like, oh, okay, like everything is burning down. Like we were going through people are arguing, people like there was like a fist fight in the office and like they like went through a table and stuff. It's just like crazy stuff.
Well,
a lot of drinking, a lot of frat boy stuff, especially early on. But their thing was just straight like we love games. It has to be this. And it's like we're not hiring anybody unless they have like this passion for games. We quiz them and determine if they actually like games or not and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there are some things where it's like, okay, like you can see like why certain things were like, oh, okay, like that benefited. So it's like, oh, you stayed 12-hour days for 3 months. Like that benefited the game.
Yep.
Killed your social, like so many divorces, so many breakups, so many, like just because it's like you're just never home. Right. So it's like it comes at a cost for sure, but it was fascinating. It was very interesting. Yeah.
No, it makes me think of two things. Like one, talking about that thread of everything barely holding on always makes me think of the original iPhone release.
Yeah.
Where, Steve Jobs is on stage and he's like pulling up maps and like calling a pizza place and stuff. Yeah. And like later on, it was like, oh, that was not ready to go or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You just have to have that one moment though, where it's just like, and the rest is history in terms of that. The other thing is like, that really makes I was talking to you last week, I think, about Barstool Sports. Uh-huh. They have like their documentary. They released that during like the pandemic, I think, about their history and like Dave Portnoy and stuff starting it. And that's a very similar situation. Whereas like the early days of Barstool was like super, like actual frat boys, and like their office was a disaster. It was like an old dentist's office, and it was trash everywhere. And it's just so low budget, but that was like their identity, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's just pure passion, and dedication, and like just doing like what they would do. You know,
it would be like they all lived in like a apartment building. Mm-hmm. Essentially, it's like once you started living there, it's like, oh well, this is a super easy commute. I'm just gonna live here, or they live under their desk, or they, it's just like they're playing and stuff, and it's just like they all played. I mean, I don't think it was Civ, but it's like they just had Civ nights, or they all played their Warcraft, or they all, it was super.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like
EverQuest was huge. That's what spurred World of Warcraft. They played it and they were just like, oh my god, like this is it.
Do this.
Yeah.
No, it's I don't know. I like those stories of like the origins of companies is really interesting. Yep.
But the beauty of it is you have those games that like get it right, and it's just like, oh, that's awesome. Like so, like Vampire Survivors is like, okay, that was a thing, and it spawned a whole genre. And then you have even let's go more like bigger budget stuff of like maybe Warcraft or World of Warcraft or whatever. Now you have all these other companies that are indies that are just trying that thing, and they're the new scrappy ones, and and like Blizzard's turned into this corporate kind of bought by Microsoft, and like who knows where all that's going to go.
You die a hero or live long enough to become the villain, right? Like that's just the truth.
The cycle continues, and it's kind of cool, like to see the new
kids on the block,
the new dog like is just taking the world by storm. Like Balatro being nominated, right? Yep. Like it's a one thing guy that like doesn't even want to be up on stage and doesn't go into public.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, he made something that like thousands of people sitting in an auditorium are like standing and cheering for. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, no, and I think and we'll talk about it, but Sven's speech for Game of the Year
from Larian Studios
was pretty poignant.
He did that last year, but he had to write it on Twitter because they didn't give him any time. So like he had a speech, and they were just like, and Baldur's Gate won Game of the Year, congratulations. And then he was like rushed off stage because they were just running long. So this year he was just like,
I don't think anyone got played off this year, which was very impressive.
I think they got enough flack because like he was just like, because people were saying it's like he won the Game of the Year.
Yeah,
and you're telling him to leave. Like exactly. Like you let God of War stand up there for 17 minutes.
If anyone should get played off, it's that moment.
Right. Yeah.
But the problem with playing him off, he was announcing a winner.
Right. Yeah.
So you can't play him off.
And it's just like you do that, and I think they were giving away Steam Decks during that time. So like people were like, do you know how many Steam Decks they had to like give away because he was like, oh, during this time frame.
Oh, really? During his speech?
I forget what it was. Whatever. It was like during the announcement of, I think he was like best performance.
Maybe
or
that's why he did it. Maybe it's like an inside job.
Maybe
he got paid to do that.
It's just like, dude, you gave away, because it was like, oh, we'll give a Steam Deck away every minute or something. It's like normally like
Never
2 minutes,
again.
3 minutes, 3 Steam Decks.
There's
now
no
it's like
way
17.
they would have tackled him if that was the case, dude. They would have lost so much money on that.
Yeah,
that's like one Harrison Ford
I forget the
appearance.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it was. I think overall it was a pretty. They always put this out the next day. Like, what would you grade it?
Yeah.
Did you have like what would you A through D?
I would say A-.
Okay.
I'd give it probably an A-. I think the awards were. I think all the awards, like I wasn't too upset with a lot of them.
Yeah.
Which we'll get through.
Yeah.
I thought the announcements, while nothing was like, I shouldn't say nothing. There were a few like, oh crap, like everything just felt good.
Yeah.
Like it was like, I don't think any time was wasted, more or less. Like everything looked, it bare minimum interesting, where I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I'll check that out when it comes out.
Yep.
So like, honestly, the more I think about it, it's like, A- probably.
Yeah, I think A- sounds pretty accurate, or B+, maybe, if depending on how you're feeling about like the awards and stuff.
if you take the Muppets out of it, if you take all of the dumb banter out of it, like Laura Bailey and what's his face,
that
like just about making out. We'll get there, but it's like making out on stage.
I like the Muppets. I think they were good.
They were. It was just slightly too long. Like I would have rather cut.
Well,
to
the problem is like they had them at the very beginning.
Yeah,
we didn't hear from them for 2 hours.
Yeah,
and then we got like 30 minutes of them at the end. It was like, you should just sprinkle them in better. Yeah,
take the same amount of time and then just cut to them like every 3 trailers. Just have them just rip on something. Hey, remember
I'm here. Yeah.
I like the
jokes were great though.
Yeah.
They talked about the DLC thing. Yep. They were ripping them apart. I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I wonder if they had to run all those jokes by him, or if they were just like, hey, like,
I'm sure they did.
You think?
Yeah, new Hollywood Jeff, of course, dude. He's not going to let anything. But credit to him, it was pretty.
He let him
accurate.
Go.
Yeah.
Two things. One, either he didn't have sign off and he just said, you know what, it's fine, just do whatever. It's Muppets.
Me.
How rough can it be?
How could it be? Yeah.
Or good on him for having like a thick skin and just being like, yeah, go ahead, dunk on me. That's fine.
I'm trying to think. Like, I'm trying to remember his reactions to it. It seemed like he
seemed canned.
It seemed canned. It seemed like he knew.
He'd like rub his forehead and be like, "Oh, these guys." Like, it's like, dude, you invited them. Like you put them.
I think he's a good sport about it.
Here's a question,
I don't know.
And this might be like a year from now bet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they come up with, because it's been a new Muppet each time? Do you think
what was the Muppet last time?
So it was Gonzo, it was Animal, and then it was Beaker and whoever, and then you know what I mean? Like they
think they do another Muppet?
It. That's what I mean, because Miss Piggy was there. I think Kermit was there at one point.
I don't remember any of these.
All of them were in there. But
you know what he should have said though? Is it the best comeback?
What?
He should have been like, "We're getting Big Bird next year" or something like, or I'm a Sesame Street guy or something like that. This is why I live on Sesame Street or something. Or I don't know.
Oscar would be great.
Oscar the Grouch?
A little too negative, but that'd be
100%, dude.
Yeah. Cookie Monster?
Be great. Wow.
Oh, man.
You speak about it. Yeah. I mean, come on, dude.
I guess the question is, do you think they get another Muppet, or do you think they were
Sesame
good
Street
enough that that's the new shtick, is you just have
those two guys?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe.
I would like to see those guys come back.
Have they had Kermit?
I think they had Kermit and Miss Piggy at the same time.
I think those two are perfect.
I think so, too.
It's just like, being self-aware is always good.
Yeah.
In an authentic way, which I think that's everyone loves the Muppets.
Yeah.
And it's a way to poke fun at yourself. Like they did. I think they did a perfect job of it.
Yep.
You know, all the things people were complaining about, the Muppets
just
alleviated.
Pacing's the thing.
If next year they make the same mistakes, quote unquote, then it's like, all right, what are we doing? Because because now you know that they have heard what everyone has said. Yeah. So it's like, are they going to acknowledge it? They have acknowledged it. Are they going to change anything, or are they just going to make fun of them? Because I hate when people are aware enough to make fun of themselves, but they continue to do the exact same thing.
It's the Duke Nukem. It's the Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
It's the,
Like you talk about this all the time in games where it's like, oh, you know, I don't know, like fetch quest or whatever.
Yep.
And they're like talking about this is a fetch quest.
Yep.
It's like, well, then don't make me do it.
You
know this isn't fun.
Indiana Jones, like once like the third temple starts falling on his head because he picked up the wrong thing or whatever, and he's like, oh, I'm getting sick of this. Yeah. And it's just like, then don't do it. Then take it out of the game. Like make it more impactful.
Like a game should do that where it's like, oh man, here's a fetch quest. And then the character's just like, I'm not doing this shit, and it just crosses it out or something
It is the Doom. It's the Doom opening.
Yeah.
I have this model, and he just punches the screen, picks up a gun, and just go.
Best opening.
It's fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's exactly what it is. But, all right. So let's get into we'll talk about the winners first.
Yeah. Let's not
kind of breeze through this, and I think overall pretty good. We'll get into them.
Okay.
So I guess we'll, I think we have the same list up. I hope so. But they did the esports stuff. Well, it's listed here first. They actually, all right, here's a criticism. In the pre-show,
yes,
the first award, so the least amount of people watching, is best fighting game. Yep. That's insane, dude.
When that category actually has some like
they had some good like Tekken, obviously the front runner, but like Dragon Ball sold incredibly well.
Yep. Multiverses
Multiverses has been doing good.
Which got big cheers.
Yes.
Or no, wait. It wasn't that. What was the one right before Multiverses?
I'd have to look.
That doesn't matter. But that got actually bigger cheers than I thought.
There's like well, we'll get to it, but
let's start with the esports team. We'll blow through these real quick.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting with the list they had, which is I think the order they should have done it in. I was just mad that like best fighting game's a big category.
Yeah.
And the disrespect that they have towards fighting games is like so like maybe they wanted to start like with a bang, but
maybe
nobody's watching at that point. Or way fewer people are watching at that point.
At least put it later in the pre-show. Like bare minimum.
To end
like
the pre-show right or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The first category, like you should do all the esports first. Like no one gives a fuck about that.
Yeah. Well, they have to because it's like that's how you get into the public is the esports. It's like, oh, we're in ESPN now. Oh, we're like I understand probably the thought behind it, but
I guess
the average person, do they know who that is? Like, no. Even the streamers, I think people give
the problem
streamers way too much credit.
Well, yeah, I don't know who any of them is, but I might just be old now. But the problem with esports is like if you're into esports, you're probably into a particular game.
Mm-hmm.
So John might know all the Counter-Strike people or the Counter-Strike teams. So that's one of them.
Yeah,
that's nominated, and I know all the League teams, so that's one of them. So it's like your average person who's into it, which is like a subsection of the average person, only knows 1 out of 5.
And that's what I'm saying with the streamers. I'm not saying that they're bad by any stretch, but it's like if you're watching a stream, like that person, like know, it's like oh yeah, I know so and so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway, so they did there's the 3 esports categories, right? Best esports team, athlete, and game. And League swept again. I mean, it's too easy at this point. It's the best game of all time. Not really. But it's the best esports game. I will go toe-to-toe with anyone in that easily.
Sure.
It's the best viewing experience. I think it's the most interesting and in-depth.
Yep.
And SKT, I guess they're just T1 now, won it again. And I think it's Faker's 4th or 5th championship. I mean, this guy's just been so dominant for so long. It's just no question that.
Yeah.
Now, did they do best esport event? I guess they got rid of that this year. Usually they do that. It would have been League again. Worlds. Worlds is just on such a different level because there's so much more money in it.
Yeah.
It's hard to compete. So, but yeah, congratulations to T1 in all aspects and League of Legends.
T1, Faker, and League of Legends.
Content Creator of the Year is Queso. So I lied. I technically do know this guy because I saw some of his like YouTube shorts or like clips of him.
All right.
He's a bigger guy, and he was like, it was this one video of him like taking a fast food quiz where they show you like a burger, and you have to name which fast food it is. And he's like, I better not get a perfect score on this, and he gets a perfect score. He's like, fuck.
I could do that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
think it's
I was close. I think I got a couple wrong because there's a couple I don't go to, but
are they like they aren't in Pennsylvania? Like, is it like outside of
there? Yeah, some of them were in and out and
stuff
like that, which I don't really know. But That's the only clip I saw. He seems funny.
What is
know
Queso's stream? Like, what's he?
I have no idea because any clip I saw of him, it was just like he might just be variety. I guess I don't know.
Just like personality type of thing, which is cool.
I guess.
Like, yeah. Good.
Like I just saw him taking like quizzes or whatever, which is like, all right, sure. I don't know how that's video games, but I'm sure he plays something. He must.
Yeah, I mean, he had to.
Yeah. All right, so then we get to the most anticipated game, aka easiest bet of my life.
Yep.
Where Grand Theft Auto 6, dude, people have been waiting like 15 years for this.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what your thought process was on betting me on that.
I was banking on people being short-sighted, which I know is most anticipated is kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking the Monster Hunter demo just dropped. People really liked it. It was the most concurrent thing. It's coming out in 2 months.
Yep.
I was like, oh man, like people are jazzed about it. And then Grand Theft Auto was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you know what's going to absolutely eclipse any record any of these games are going to set? Grand Theft Auto 6. It's going to be the biggest game of all time.
That's fair.
And it's not going to be close.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be close.
Yep.
My friend is going to buy a PS5 just to play Grand Theft Auto 6. He doesn't play any games. He plays Wii Sports.
Are you going to play it on PS5? Is that something that we just have to do, or is that going to be like maybe we wait for PC?
Oh, I'm playing it. Yeah, I'm buying it twice.
Yeah.
It's the biggest. I already bought, speaking of buying twice, I bought Final Fantasy Rebirth on PC.
Is that out on PC?
Comes out in January, but you can, if you buy it now, you get like 30% off.
On what?
On Steam.
Really?
Yeah. It's like
I missed that completely.
Like
was that an announcement?
It was, and I totally missed that too. And then I was reading the articles, and I was like, "Oh shit!" They announced Final Fantasy Rebirth on PC. Dude, Final Fantasy. We'll get into it, but
I might just do that. And man, that's a lot of time. That's like redoing 20 hours of 25 hours.
It's supposed to look really good though. The max specs is like a 4080.
Yeah,
which is what you have, right? No, you have a 3090,
3080 Ti.
Oh, that's right. So we can't even run it on Ultra.
Which is fine. It's still going to look better. Like,
it's going to look great.
Get the frame rate. I might
120.
I might just do that and play it through on PC.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to play through it again. But even if I didn't, I would just want to see. Like, that game is. I've always looked forward to the PC releases because I think the game has so much potential to look incredible.
That lets me kind of like redo. Man, there's some things I don't mind redoing, and there are some things I'm just like, I don't want to do everything in the grasslands again or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that.
So that's the most anticipated game. Now here's a surprise. Best adaptation. Well, we knew it was between these two. I think it was between Arcane and Fallout.
Yeah.
And Jeff, so our friend Jeff, streamed this, and he was really mad at this apparently. I wasn't watching at this point, but Nate said that he like walked away when Arcane lost.
Yeah.
But I heard really good things about Fallout, so I'm not super upset.
Here's the thing.
Arcane
at that one already won this.
Yeah, right.
So like they got their day in the sun. From what I understand is season 2, and we'll talk about this maybe like next week's our game in the year, so maybe like after we'll eventually talk about Arcane, like our thoughts and stuff.
I thought we might, if we had time today, we'd talk about it. But we'll see.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if we have time, but we'll see. But it's like they had the thing. So it's like you have that, and then Fallout nailed it.
Yeah.
Very close to the source material and stuff, where maybe season 2 is kind of like there are some things that they deviated on, I guess.
Sure.
For Arcane. So like I could see that. Like it's not.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. I heard great things about Fallout, so
I like how it's just Knuckles. Was that the name of
the movie?
The movie?
I guess.
Or was it Sonic 3? Okay. Yeah.
Knuckles.
It's not the Sonic movie that's the best adaptation. It's just Knuckles. Idris Elba.
Did that one do well? I think the first two did well.
They all did well. They're all just.
Well,
Sonic's
I remember
been
that
like low key doing very well. Like Sonic Generations and Shadow whatever.
Yeah.
Has like overwhelmingly positive reviews, super highly rated.
Yeah.
Like, and it came out this year, so I was like, man, that's actually one I probably should have taken a look at.
I've never been a Sonic guy.
Me either.
Played like 2 Sonic games in my life, probably.
Shadow kept his gun. People were just like, oh, I wonder if... And he's like, yep, no, they have it.
Yeah, I played the Shadow game on GameCube, which is apparently terrible, but I liked it as a kid.
Yeah.
And then Sonic Heroes on GameCube, which was actually really cool.
Yeah.
That was a fun one, because you got like 3 people... There's different teams, and you got like 3 people, and then each of them had a different skill set.
Yeah.
Like you had a fast guy, a strong guy, and then a flyer, I think. Okay. So like the original team is Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails.
Sure.
and then you had like Shadow, the Bat Lady, and the Robot.
Okay.
Something. Yeah. And then you had, I don't know, there was a bunch of different teams. It was cool. Anyways, best multiplayer game.
All right.
Helldivers 2. I think this was a clear winner.
Yep.
So I was happy with that. I think it was pretty straightforward. You could go Black Ops. I think Black Ops multiplayer is pretty good, but
again, Call of Duty's had its time in the sun. I think Call of Duty.
Yeah, but
has
how much
to
of that
like,
is like? Should that matter?
No, but
I don't think it should matter.
I think when you're talking Black Ops 6,
yeah,
and that's just the Black Ops franchise,
yeah,
and Call of Duty has just been this juggernaut for so long, it has to do something insane for people to like sit up and take notice. So like when Call of Duty was not remastered, but like essentially like relaunched, like soft relaunched whenever Modern Warfare came out.
Yeah,
that was the thing that everyone was like, "Oh crap, this is good." This is. I
don't think it won best multiplayer though. It just won best sound design.
but even what I'm saying is, if that doesn't move the needle, I don't think Black Ops 6 did anything. That yeah.
I think you gotta. I think you gotta just put it in its own thing though. It's a different game. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm not like, but it's hard to not be influenced with stuff. I think new stuff will always trump.
Yeah, it's more exciting,
sequels.
Different. Yeah,
yeah.
No, I feel that. Best sports and racing. Which this was in the main show and not best fighting game, which is such a joke.
But it makes so much money.
Yeah, by exploiting kids.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it's good.
I'm just so esports FC 25. So it's not even FIFA anymore. I'm so out of the loop on sports games. I don't even know if it's good or not. So congratulations. I feel like if you have to put racing with. Well, technically racing is a sport, I would argue, so I don't know. I think it should just be best sports game, but...
I'm looking at how much it...
What it got on, like, OpenCritic?
No, I just want to see what it made.
Oh, probably billions of dollars. Probably a billion, I would guess. I think they still do, like, Ultimate Team and stuff.
4.3 billion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy. Just so crazy, dude.
Well, that's overall spending in hardware. So I'd have to look into it, but it's
they make a lot of money on it. I know that.
It's
all the Ultimate Team stuff.
Thing. Yeah, it's the number one
because people just spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on these fucking packs.
Yeah, they didn't solo 4.3 billion, but they are the number one selling game. Period.
100%.
So I can understand it.
The exact opposite of the speech we got per game of the year.
Yes.
Yeah. So then we have best sim strategy game, which was Frostpunk 2.
Yeah.
Which I think we knew it was coming, but I really I was pulling for Unicorn. So this was the first one where I was like, I would have liked to see Unicorn Overlord get some credit.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
And you'll probably judge me for it.
Sure.
I own Unicorn Overlord digitally, obviously.
Sure.
I have a slightly growing collection of Switch games.
Okay.
I have not seen Unicorn Overlord in the wild, except there's one copy left at Best Buy.
Okay.
I have $40, like Best Buy bucks.
Yeah.
And it's between getting just a controller, which is another controller that I have like on my Steam Deck or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I was thinking about actually picking up just a sealed copy of Unicorn Overlord and just keeping it sealed. Because I think that's going to be like, you're not going to find it. And I think it's a good enough game that eventually people are going to be like, oh, remember this game? Like, I think it might actually be worth something someday.
You're talking to a gambler.
That's fair.
Yeah. What do you think?
I can't decide between the two, but Unicorn Overlord,
you can always get another controller.
I like that game enough that it's just like...
That might be a hidden gem someday.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think it definitely is. Yeah.
Go for it, dude.
But anyway, Frostpunk. Good job, Frostpunk.
You played a little bit of that, right?
I played 5 minutes before I was like, my brain cannot. Because it was like, here's this. I'm just like, nope.
It's like a real man strategy game.
I'd rather jump into Civ.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that. But best family game was Astrobot, which...
Thank the Lord.
This is where I was like, okay. I think Well, I didn't know Astrobot was going to do so well.
Spoilers.
I was hoping it was.
Spoilers.
Yeah, foreshadowing,
okay.
I like to call that.
Okay.
But as soon as they did this and like Nintendo, because we talked a lot about this going up to it, where Nintendo just gets rose-tinted glasses on everything.
Yep.
I was like, okay, I think we got something here. So that was actually really... Dude, if you're being honest, Astrobot is just infinitely better than any of these games.
Oh, dude, I mean, like 60% of these games are Nintendo games on the list, and it's just like, no, sorry, Nintendo.
Well, family games are usually that's Nintendo's wheelhouse, but
yeah, but like, is Echoes of Wisdom, like, is Legend of Zelda actually a family game? Like, is that like a?
I think so.
Is it? It's
100% a kids game.
Player, like.
I think it's a kids game. I think that's part of what family game means. Yeah. At least my interpretation of it.
Astrobot's better, so whatever.
Well, Astrobot's also a single player game.
It's fair. Yeah, no, I know.
So by that criteria, Astrobot shouldn't win either.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Family game to me means like either couch co-op with the family or just kids game. I think it's like all encompassing.
Yeah.
So, but no, that was good, well deserved. Then we get best fighting game, which again they put at the beginning. Crazy.
Yep.
So I don't know which one you were talking about. The one before
it was Marvel versus Capcom got a huge cheer.
Dude, people have been wanting that forever.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know if it's a remaster, but they released all those classic games.
Together,
yeah. But there's a lot of good hitters. Like that was really popular. Although I don't think you can give it to that because it's like not a new game. That's kind of
it's in the run,
But Dragon Ball did super well. Multiverses was doing well. Grand Blue Fantasy, I think, was doing well too. But Tekken 8 clearly deserved this one.
Pulled it out,
in my opinion.
Yeah. So obviously, as far as the couch company is concerned, Tekken 8.
Tekken 8 was solid. I think it's a really, really good game.
It has more talk time than any other thing this year. Easy from us. Easy.
Oh my gosh.
Like not even close.
Well, it's impactful.
I know. It's very good.
I think there's an argument where it should have been in the running for Game of the Year.
I think it's going to be in the discussion for us.
100%.
Yeah.
I would have put it over Elden Ring DLC. Yeah.
Jeff might have something to say about that, but we'll see.
Well, I just think Elden Ring DLC, which a lot of people have said shouldn't count. But we get to the best RPG, speaking of Elden Ring, and this one went to Metaphor.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Metaphor is good, but I think this is where Final Fantasy started to get snubbed a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a little, I disagree with that one, and now I haven't finished Metaphor yet, to be fair.
Yeah.
But at least from what I've seen, dude,
people really liked Metaphor.
They love it.
Yeah.
They love it.
I like it. I like it a lot. Too. And I
like it too.
The fact that I stuck with it, it says something, but it's just like,
No, I think people are way
I don't have the
way
same
too high on it.
In Metaphor as I do with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy just seems like Metaphor feels claustrophobic in comparison to Final Fantasy.
Yeah, like I know if you talk about like the two worlds, and the world building that they do, just that category, I think like it's not even close. Yep. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it had better RPG elements. I do really like Metaphor's kind of system, how they have the archetypes and stuff. I think that's really clever, and there's a lot of mixing and matching that you can do with that, especially with like the combined abilities or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably between those two, although Like a Dragon was very good as well. And I think that's got super snubbed. So
yeah,
it's tough though. I mean, it's a big category. I'm just glad Dragon's Dogma didn't win. That would have been,
I like the RPGs it's a big year for RPGs.
I think so. Like all of those were solid except Dragon's Dogma 2. Yeah. Although if you ask the public, they would disagree. So all of those were like rated very highly. Yeah. Which is good to see. Then we get into Best Action Adventure.
Yep.
Astrobot wins this, and looking at the list, I think it's pretty clear cut. I think
I disagree with that. Okay. I think for Best Action Adventure, for Best Action Adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving, I actually think Prince of Persia should have got this. I think Prince of Persia has better traversal, I think it has better combat, and I think it has puzzle solving. So Astrobot is awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love Astrobot. I think it's a better game.
Yeah.
But for action adventure, I think Prince of Persia probably has the best combination of their criteria. I'm not saying, sure. It is what it is.
Yeah.
That's just me. But
no, I think if you're getting pedantic about it.
So we actually voted for that, by the way, whenever we were
Prince of Persia.
About it. Yeah, we picked Prince of Persia for that one.
Probably because of your spiel.
Probably.
And I was like, I don't care enough. Sure.
But congratulations, Astrobot.
To me, if I just think action adventure, I think Astrobot is just the better game.
Sure.
So I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I would have probably between those two. I didn't play Silent Hill 2 though, so
yeah,
that might have been a miss. But
what if you remove the adventure? What if
just
it was just
then,
action?
Yeah, I don't think
primarily
Astrobot,
on combat.
Yeah, I don't think Astrobot wins that. I
well,
guess
they weren't nominated for it. It was segueing to the next one.
Oh, that's right. Dude, what? So terrible. Yeah, so Black Myth Wukong wins this, which I think...
Best action game.
Yeah, best action game, like you said. I think that's a good win.
It has to be, because again, they called out, like, it's the first game that China is nominated for, and
yeah,
it's,
but
like,
from what everyone was saying is, like, the combat was very well done.
I would like to get Jeff's take on this, because he liked Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah.
I think Stellar Blade deserves this
interesting
this win, but I would be curious for Jeff liking both of those games.
Yeah,
I wonder which one he would pick.
Sure. No, that's fair.
My heart says probably Stellar Blade.
Yeah, he was very high on that. And we'll get to another category he thought Stellar Blade would have won, which I think he's absolutely out of his mind for. But
yeah.
So best VR AR went to Batman, which I think we voted for.
We voted for Asgard's Wrath, but
that was you.
Yeah,
I wanted Batman.
You did.
I do remember that.
Yes.
Not that I played any of them. But
yeah,
just
no,
because
Batman won. People love Batman.
People love Batman. Yeah. Shocker.
Yeah. Ironically, because he wears the shocking gauntlets.
Yep. Batman. Then best mobile game went to Balatro, which I think that's easy.
I think so. I think it's a little. Yes, we'll just leave it at that. Good for that. I think AFK Journey is a little bit more of like a mobile game. Pokemon trading card game is like a mobile. Like it's like that's like a mobile thing, not a hey, this was released on thing, and then they kind of like converted it to or like ported it to mobile. So it's like
I don't know. I think
it deserves it. It's a great game.
it should count.
Sure, it did.
If you can play it on your phone, it should count.
No, absolutely.
And then I guess it's not fair because it's like, well, this is like quote unquote an actual game.
That's my point, right? Like
I think it runs really well and everything. Like as long as it's doing that technically well, and then it's still an awesome game, it should definitely win. In my opinion,
I think my only criticism is that game was not like tweaked to be good on mobile per se. So like the text is really small and like it's like they just literally ported it over.
Interesting.
So like you have vibrations and stuff, but like that's it. So like
I think Dwayne was saying that it was. I mean, he's been playing a ton of it, so
it's a fantastic game. So a good game's a good game.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the spirit of a mobile game would be like it's mobile first. They made this
more microtransactions.
Free to play.
No, I got you.
That's the spirit of what a mobile game
That
is.
is the spirit of a mobile game, yeah.
Yeah, anyway. All right.
Okay.
So Balatro won that.
Yes, and then Balatro won Best Debut Indie Game.
Yes.
Which I was confused about this because the next one is Best Independent Game.
Yeah.
Well, so what's the difference?
So the debut indie game this is their first game. So this is the first time you heard of the developer.
Yep.
And this is the game that they
And then
they
independent game is just an indie game, but
any indie game. Yeah.
That's I don't know if there should be two categories for that, but
it doesn't matter because Balatro
won both.
So that's, what, 3 for Balatro? They got
just
3
swept,
statues.
Which like I think Animal Well kind of got snubbed a little bit because people really liked that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know me, I was very high on Balatro, so I am not upset about it. I
Balatro
think it
is the masses. I think Animal Well is good, but I think it requires a specific type of player to appreciate it.
Sure.
I am not that person, so like I really tried and I thought I did everything well, but it was just like I don't have like this isn't what I'm looking for whenever I'm like I want a quick indie game to play.
Yeah. That's fair.
So
I was very high on Balatro this year. Higher than
developer,
you, I think.
This is the guy that didn't come out. He had his friends, I think his friends come out and get the award for him. And it's worth noting this is kind of the first kind of foray into respect of the night. But they were even saying like, hey, the Balatro guys, like, I think Arco should have won this.
Yeah.
Like that was his big thing. It was just like Arco is an amazing game. This like it wasn't even nominated.
It wasn't even nominated, right?
Overwhelming positive reviews, great reviewed and everything. But yeah,
that was like, cool to see.
Yeah. Respect.
Speaking of respect, best community support.
Yep.
Baldur's Gate 3. I think we voted for this as well. It's just update after update. Next year they're coming out with 12 new subclasses.
Yep.
They completely revamped the ending. They made like a new ending for the evil path, all free.
Yep.
You know, fixing things, just it's insane. It's just insane the amount that they put out. I actually don't even know how they do it, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's deserved, especially because they like kind of blitz to work. Like it kind of makes you wonder if they were, but
makes you wonder what.
Well, right when Game Awards is starting to be a thing, like like maybe like that September time frame. So it's like, oh, we're starting to market Game Awards and things like that. All of this stuff comes out for Baldur's Gate.
I think it's been pretty consistent.
Not as consistent as No Man's Sky. But
they do it in chunks where it's like they have big update, and then they go silent, and then big up. Like earlier this year, they revamped the whole ending.
Was that earlier this year, or was earlier this year fixing bugs and stuff?
Well, they've been fixing bugs the whole time, but I think earlier this year that was the complete revamp of it. Like they literally created an entire epilogue.
Yeah,
for free. Which is insane. 100%. Like it was like another. It wasn't super long, but it's like. People were like, man, I wish there was more closure.
Yeah.
Done.
Yep.
Like they are just so good at listening to the community.
Yeah.
And they're just doing it,
Yep.
So crazy. But yeah, I mean, No Man's Sky, you've been talking about that for years. Like someday they'll win this.
I think they've already won it, to be fair.
Did they actually? I don't remember them. We talk about them every year, and I think they never win it.
I would have to go back and check.
But
they're literally
Destiny
on it
1
every
or something?
Year. That's
last year, right?
That's bull. Yeah. Well, Destiny won Best Ongoing.
Oh, right. Something won it last year.
Or no, actually, I think you might be right. I think it might be Community Support. I don't know.
Yeah, Best Ongoing was like Cyberpunk or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was. Yeah. Anyway.
Speaking of ongoing, Helldivers 2 won, which this was my first one where I just vehemently disagreed with.
Yes.
If a game comes out that year, I don't think it should be eligible for this category. To me, this is like specifically for a game. Like this is to give an award for a game that did not come out this year.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And Helldiver won Best I just didn't understand this one at all.
I don't think Helldivers should be there. I completely agree with you. What did Final Fantasy... this is Final
14.
Fantasy 14. Okay. I kept reading that as
14
16.
always wins this. It's like between 14 and like Fortnite.
Yeah.
I think they go back and forth every year winning this, which deserved.
Here's the thing. Like, I think out of this...
Destiny 2.
Maybe Destiny 2 in the way that
DLC did so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that would be where you put it.
But here's what is even better. Best DLC.
Yes.
How crazy would that be?
Well, Destiny wouldn't win with that.
Sure, but you have Destiny 2, you have Elden Ring, you have Alan Wake, you have all these things that came out.
Technically Astrobot. Can you imagine Astrobot putting out DLC?
Oh my God.
And getting that
you have Diablo.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Best DLC, you have 5 DLCs that came out big enough.
Yeah.
Easily.
Best ongoing is Helldivers, where they, I feel like every other, and this is kind of like Destiny last year, where I feel like every other news article is like, players are mad, like they hate the update.
That didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
That didn't make sense to me.
Anyway.
So that was the first one I really disagreed with. Then we have the Games for Impact, which is Neva.
Yep.
Which you played and you liked, but you were surprised at this one.
I was shocked at this one.
Yeah.
And maybe that just goes to how my dumb Neanderthal brain works, where like maybe I didn't get the underlying meaning of it. So like I understand it's like, okay, you're fighting like black goo monster things, and like maybe it's like
you
you're
didn't
fighting
get the metaphor.
Well, like you're fighting like pollution, I guess. And maybe that's like silly and dumb. And it's like I get that, but like I feel like there's other games on here maybe stronger. But we didn't play any of them. So,
yeah, so I don't know. Yeah.
Good job. I like Neva.
Well, I think this might be one of those things where it's like, this is a good enough game, but it's not going to win anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll get there. Yeah.
And then this is innovation and accessibility, which not my strong suit, but Prince of Persia won.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
Cool.
Not sure why, but sure. All right. Best performance. This was a big surprise for me. So, Melina Jurgens?
Yep.
Is that how you pronounce it? She's German, I guess. Which is Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
And you played this, a little bit of this. So,
yeah,
like,
I played
what
the first
are
act.
your thoughts on this?
She's very good.
Yeah.
Like, and I guess the fact that you have to do the main voice and all the other several voices in your head, like, the more I thought about it, the more I'm like,
that makes sense.
There is some range there. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not upset by it by any stretch. It's just
I'm not super upset either.
Yeah.
I disagree with it, but I didn't play it. So it's hard for me to be upset if I would
say she has a bigger range than Brianna White, because I know that's who we voted for.
Well, that's what
Aries
I voted for.
Yeah.
I mean, that was So
I did Star Wars Outlaws, I guess, but
well, yeah, you really wanted that one, which sure.
I think the other part of that too is I believe they mocapped her face as well. I think she did the whole kit and caboodle. So if you want to go beyond
performance,
that too,
I mean,
I think
sure.
that automatically gives you more than what Aerith has, because I think Aerith is just a voice actress.
Aerith. Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised nobody from Metaphor is on here because everyone's great in that game.
Yes.
That's kind of wild to me. So.
Yep.
All right. Best audio design was Hellblade 2 as well.
Yes.
Which I know that when you talk about it, that's kind of its thing.
Yep.
It's so I guess not surprising, but
again, they did it already. So maybe this is a thing against what I say, where it's like, oh, once it's done, the novelty wears off, and it's very tough to get it again.
Yeah.
So I think they do a really good job with it.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that Astrobot did it where it's like all the sound coming from your controller, coming from your headset, different things like
Super
that. I
unique.
thought it was interesting.
The way sound changes based on like the power up you have and stuff. Yeah. I think it's really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have.
Call of Duty, I actually very much disagree with, because you can like completely ruin the sound in that game just to like, oh, I want my footsteps louder or whatever. It's just like it's busted.
Sure.
Final Fantasy VII's fine in music. I don't think it has like
the sound. It didn't stick out to me, right?
Silent Hill, I was actually kind of expecting to pull it out because it's like that creepy.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. Then we have score and music though, which, as you alluded to, Final Fantasy VII won this.
Yeah.
I think that's the clear-cut answer for this one.
Yes.
However, Jeff disagrees wholeheartedly.
Yep.
And thought Stellar Blade should have won this.
Stellar Blade is very good.
Sure.
And I usually do not interact with like choose the track that you want and stuff. And even Final Fantasy has that, where it's like pick your, at least 15 did, where it's like you collect like CDs and you can like play them.
Yeah,
and,
you have that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I get that, but Stellar Blade's the only one that I actually like. Oh, I really like this track. I'm gonna put this on the little radio to listen to it. And stuff. But no, Final Fantasy, like just pound for pound, like just like soundtrack is like, man, Stellar Blade is great. Final Fantasy is just another level. Although, here's the thing.
Okay.
At the end, the Game of the War, the Game of the Year section where they do the orchestra
medley,
thing, which is by far and away my favorite thing, because nothing lets you compare soundtracks like having an orchestra playing your arrangement all together of like literally apples to apples, like here you go.
Yeah.
I think Final Fantasy might have been the weakest one.
It was. I actually don't know what.
I'm glad you agree with that. Yeah.
Of the main theme there. I don't even think
it was unrecognizable.
Was the main theme.
I didn't understand why they chose that.
I don't know.
Like
it was real. I don't know. I would have to re-listen to it to see what actual part of it they were playing.
Like I got goosebumps for all of them, and I'm like, hey, they're ending with Final Fantasy.
I think my favorite
amazing.
was Balatro.
I think it might have been
crazy.
Yeah, which is cool because it's like, oh, you get to hear.
It was such a weird.
Yeah,
I was like, how are they going to do Balatro? Because it's all electronic.
Metaphor was actually my favorite.
Yeah, Metaphor is great. You have the choir. Metaphor soundtrack. I keep telling you, Metaphor soundtrack is very good.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yep.
But
anyway. Final Fantasy.
Yeah, well, the thing about Final Fantasy is it has the best themes.
Yes.
Out of any, like, you have the Chocobo theme, famous, and then in the game, depending on what area you're in, there's variations on the Chocobo theme. It's incredibly done. It's so good. It has the best character themes. I think it's the clear-cut answer, but I'm curious. Well, I'm going to ask Jeff about that next week.
I mean, yeah, we're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Then we get into art direction, which Metaphor wins.
Yep.
I think I'm not upset at that. I think so for our awards, we have art direction and then we have style. I think for the game awards, it's kind of, they combine those.
So here's
my understanding of it.
Here's my thing. It says, for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. My thing with the animation part is I think Metaphor is the weakest animated thing on this list.
Yeah, it's like it's trying to infuse both graphics and artistic, whatever,
like menus and design and drawings, different things, like character design.
To me, that's like style,
exactly,
right? And that's why I think we separate ours.
We do, yeah. And I think Metaphor wins that hands down.
Yeah.
But when it comes to animation, every single one of these is better. I think
Wukong should, if it's that.
Very good animation. I think Astrobot is in the question. My personal thing would be Neva, just because I think to do what they did and have it feel so fluid, where you can put combat and stuff in there, and like I'm constantly like, oh my god, like it's just like watercolor craziness. So anyway, good job, Metaphor. That's the only one that's kind of like
Metaphor did. Speaking of which, Metaphor did so well. Best narrative wins again.
Yep.
So what is that for Metaphor? 3?
Yeah.
And again, I think Final Fantasy kind of, I'm not going to say it's clear cut, because I know I haven't finished Metaphor yet, but if I know anything about these types of games, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get, the narratives are always very good in the Persona games. So, I'm not upset about it, but I am surprised that like Final Fantasy is just losing to Metaphor left and right, and I just don't know if that's I agree with that necessarily.
Here's my thing with narrative, and I thought a lot about this, where Metaphor keeps you in. Dragon Age 2 did this as well.
Sure.
Or Dragon Age Veilguard did it too. It keeps you in the main story of like what is important and focuses. So like even if you're going to do a side quest, Metaphor is still saying like, okay, but don't forget this other thing, because like time is of essence. Like we only have a couple days to knock this out.
Yep.
Final Fantasy, a lot of the time it's like, hey, there's some creepy guys here. And it's like this like really intense, important, like, oh my gosh, we have to do this. And then it's like, oh, now let's play around on scooters. Yeah. And it was kind of like, I don't know. Like it.
Yeah.
Things that I thought were impactful or important or whatever, Final Fantasy lets you go that way, but you have to mainline it to like feel connected.
Yes.
Where this, it's like Metaphor kind of threads that needle. So like, I know your love of Final Fantasy, but I don't hate that Metaphor got this, because I think it's a little bit more.
If I'm being honest, I'm actually much more okay with this one. And the disagreement I have is the RPG one. I think Final Fantasy should have won that.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think Metaphor, I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah.
Although I need to finish it still. But I do, like, once the tournament started, I was really drawn into it. I thought that's such a cool idea. And I love a tournament arc. I mean, you know me. So it's like, you're trying to become king, blah, blah, blah. I like where it's going with that. And the different tasks. So, no, I'm definitely drawn into it. And I like the narrative a lot. So, then we get to game direction. So we're almost there. Which, this is interesting. So
this is the runner-up.
This is the runner-up.
Yeah.
But we never expected the Spanish Inquisition, where Astrobot wins this.
Yes. I was worried.
Which is spoilers alert.
I was super worried when Astrobot won this one.
Yeah, me too.
I thought it was like, okay, hey, good job. You directed a good game. Well, I think
at this point I was like, Astrobot's sweeping, so I thought it wasn't going to win this, and then it was going to win Game of the Year.
Yeah.
But then when it won this, I was with you. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is there a little bit of a upset coming?
Yep.
But no, Astrobot wins this and Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Which I think deserved. I mean,
I was tearing up. Like, this guy got up and was like, he was crying.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, don't you cry? You make me cry.
You weren't here at this point, right?
I know. I
logged
get off. Yeah.
So, no, it's super well deserved. I wasn't mad about this at all.
Yeah.
I think Astrobot definitely deserves the Game of the Year. Absolutely. It's and Jeff put it great on his stream, like it kind of put a whole genre back on the map a little bit,
It proved that Nintendo wasn't the only ones that could pull something like this off.
100%. Right.
So
I love just the history of PlayStation 2. It just reminds us like where we came from as gamers, where I came from at least.
Yep.
I love just seeing all those characters I grew up with, collecting them, and
go even further back, and like the guy, like developers that went up on stage were like, all right, I'm not going to say the name of the developer, but what inspired us is like when we, back in the 80s when we got our little gray box and we put it on, and Super Mario Brothers was playing.
But you can extend that all the way up to Spyro and Crash Bandicoot,
100%. But the fact that they're nodding to like the
grandfather
100% of platforming,
which is 100% deserved. I just think that lineage, seeing that progress to here is awesome.
And having Sven from Larian get up and for 3 minutes was like, hey, without developers, because so many layoffs have been happening this year and it's just been a bloodbath. so many studios closing and everyone kind of questioning like what the players want, all that stuff. And he gave a very eloquent speech of just like, hey, this is how you make the perfect game.
Yep.
And just let people that love games make games, and don't do it for the money, don't do it for the, your stocks. And then like, it's very easy to say whenever you're not publicly traded, but like,
sure.
That's it. It was a very well done thing. Everyone was, very respectful and
I think
stuff like that. But
that's a good message. The thing that sucks though is like Final Fantasy critically acclaimed, and everything that I've seen did not meet expectations in terms of sales. So that it's stuff like that worries me though, where it's like, you make a great game, it's like you don't get rewarded for it,
I'll be interested to see like whenever they come out with a third one and they just do the whole like, here's the whole game, right? Like here's it, Final Fantasy, like the anthology, anthology, but you know what I mean? Like here's the trilogy.
When they come out with like the
box
collection,
set, whatever
sure,
it is.
Sure.
I wonder how that goes.
I think they gotta put it out on PC.
I think they
gotta put it out on PC.
I think so, but
they're just too confined by the PS5 player base, which is not great. Like that install base is just so much smaller than the PS4. I think that's really tough for them, but I don't know.
Well, let's see how this port comes out.
Because some other games don't have that problem.
Right.
Although God of War was on both, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it won Game of the Year, right?
Yeah, and it also sold like hotcakes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So.
Well, I think RPGs are just naturally, like, I don't think my cousin's gonna play an RPG, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just it's a different type of mentality of like what you want out of a video game, which I don't.
I mean, even for you, it's like, man, I don't really want to start it. Like it's a grind.
Chore. It's a chore.
It's a grind. Yeah. I mean, dude, and like we've played a lot of different games this year, right?
Yeah.
And you have a lot more than me, but it's like, okay, well, I played Final Fantasy in February. That's 100 hours.
Yeah.
I played Yakuza. Yep. That's 80 hours. I played Persona 3. That's fucking 70 hours.
Yeah.
Metaphor, there's another 60 plus.
I think you probably put more time in than
the problem is the JRPGs. That's a month.
Yeah.
So it's tough. Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason why I'm not reading Way of Kings whenever you open it and it's the smallest book of the series and it's like 1,000 pages.
Yeah, exactly. It's a commitment.
Time commitment. Yeah.
Commitment. Yeah. All right. So got through the awards, which I think overall, minus a couple, I think very well deserved. And
I would have liked to see a broader. I know we just got done saying how like indies are propped up and different things like that, but I would have rather. I wish people had a broader experience base of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But we'll see.
I think it's getting there. I think it's improving.
Balatro kind of punched that ceiling a little bit, and we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah. But we get on to the announcements now. How are you looking on time here?
I still got to run out and do stuff.
I know.
So we can. We'll
let me
go
know
through these.
But we start with Ninja Gaiden. Yeah,
Ragebound.
You were kind of excited for this. It looked interesting.
It looked
I like
good.
the art style.
Art style is good. Kind of keeps the pixely look to it. It looked very
I thought Ninja
fluid.
Gaiden was like 3D though.
They
eventually got there.
They have them.
Those are the ones I remember where it's like, because I remember back in the day it was like super bloody and like that's what it was kind of known for, like cutting people's arms off and stuff.
I think I played the original one, which was like Nintendo.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, like it's come a long way, spanned a lot of different, I guess you could call it genres. The Messenger was a recent one that wasn't. It was like kind of like a spiritual successor where you could flip between versions of it. So like when you started the game, it was like very 8-bit Nintendo styling, and then after you got so far in the game, it went to like 16-bit era, and it kept improving the graphics. You can kind of flip between. Like it was actually really really cool. Like you could.
Was that the game that was connected to Sea of Stars?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't know. All right.
that was the last time I played a type of game like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to try it out.
All right. Cool. Then we go One Move Away.
Yep.
which you thought this was Unpacking.
Like the sequel to Unpacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're packing. So now it's just you're
would have
putting
been really
back.
clever.
Yeah.
But this seems cool. It was more than just packing a car, which I thought it was what it was at first, but you actually like pack the car, move into a new house, things like that.
Yeah.
And similar to Unpacking, like you said, it seems like there's kind of a time component to this where you're throughout the years and
you can see how things progress and stuff. Yeah,
and
Unpacking was a great game.
Yeah. So this might be a Tyler game.
Yeah, probably. I hope it's like a kind of Game Pass thing. I don't know if we'll see.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Then we get to Slay the Spire 2, which I think is a pretty significant one.
So I rewatched this. I like Slay the Spire a ton.
Yeah.
I didn't really see too much that was like new in this.
Gotcha.
In the trailer.
Sure.
So like
new cards or anything,
like
or mechanics.
I appreciate the another one of these. I like this type of gameplay, but I'm kind of surprised they didn't really do a lot with the art style. Like it looks better, but it's still like a very specific Slay the Spire art style. Like I would have loved to see them like, hey, let's try something new. Let's try to like, maybe buff that up a bit. But
I think there's a balance there though, right? Like you want to keep your identity.
Sure. Yeah.
But maybe push the envelope.
It looks a little more 3D.
Sure.
It looks less flat and stuff, but yeah. I mean that
I think there's a charm to it though, like having a specific art style like that. Maybe
that is like as far as like deck builders go, like that's in
game.
a pantheon of them. Yeah. So
yeah,
that'll
be cool. Then we get to Dave the Diver in the jungle.
Yep.
Wait, is this a DLC or is this like a new?
No, it's a
sequel, a full-blown sequel.
It says not clear if the jungle was another expansion or full-blown sequel.
Yeah. What was really funny about this though is like they were showing this one woman who it was like advocating for like environmental stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And they shot the one shot of her was like she had a sign that said fishing is inhumane.
Yes.
And then they cut to Dave the Diver, which I was laughing.
Wild.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Like, oh, you mean the game where you just slice up fish?
And I don't want to like literally and then feed them to people. Like, I don't want to poo-poo her. Like, she obviously like she.
I'm not saying what she did was wrong. I'm saying that cut is hilarious, and you're not really
awkward.
looking what she's saying if you put Dave the Diver next.
Yeah,
it's like don't worry, Dave the Diver's leaving the fish alone, but now he's gonna go shoot.
He's gonna go get some jungle.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
I guess jungle. Probably
but that'll be cool.
Right
Dave the Diver. You haven't tried any of the expansions, which I thought was right up your alley.
Dude, I don't.
Because you love Dredge.
I don't do DLCs.
Yeah, you really don't.
I really don't. Once I'm done with the game, especially when I go hard on it, like I did with Dave, I put 60 hours in that game.
Well, we have a DLC category for next week. So what are you going to put for that?
I know. I have.
You have some stuff in the hopper.
I got some.
All right. Then we have Thick as Thieves.
Yep.
Which I thought was interesting. I like this concept a lot.
Yes.
But it's really going to come down to the execution, obviously.
Yes. So this is thieves with abilities. So
are they thick?
You pick your characters. A couple of them are thick. You pick your abilities. So each one is like kind of like a class-based thing.
Yeah.
And you're going after
like an object, like a MacGuffin.
Objects or like maybe it's like I assume there's going to be like other stuff in the world that you can like kind of like get money from.
Yep.
It is PvP.
Yep.
And I'm very worried that it's not going to just devolve into find the guy, attack the guy, keep him in a stun lock while the other person just grabs the thing. Like Robin Hood.
Yep. It all comes down to balancing.
Yep.
But it can be done. Like, I know Assassin's Creed's a little bit different.
Yes.
Although I think, if I remember correctly, some of the game modes were kind of like this, where you had to steal something.
Mm-hmm.
So it can definitely be done. Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite multiplayer experiences of all time, like Brotherhood specifically. But yeah, it comes down to balancing. It comes down to, I really hope they limit the combat options and it's more like trying to F over the other players or whatever, right?
Yeah, like if you get into combat, like it's just straight up like
you just get wrecked. Yeah, you gotta run.
Something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd like to see. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I love the idea though. Love the idea.
Warren Spector did Thief in Deus Ex. So like there is some pedigree there.
Yep.
But the last Thief game, not so great. So we'll see.
We'll see.
But,
I think it's a tough one to pull off. Like that's a very nuanced kind of game. Then we get to Shadow Labyrinth, which I don't.
Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the one with Pac-Man. Yeah, Dark Pac-Man.
Yeah.
It looked weird.
Yep.
But, again, this isn't really my wheelhouse in terms of genres, so I don't know if you have any.
It looks cool, looked fluid. Like I'll check it out. But we'll see.
Hollow Knight inspired.
Yeah.
It says. Yep. Which is fair. Then we get Steel Paws.
Yeah. The Netflix game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the one that was like animated and and then
it's from the guy that made Shenmue. So he put
you were talking about Shenmue the other day or something.
Yeah, he put Shenmue 3 out, and then so Shenmue 1 and 2 came out.
Yeah,
I played the first one on Dreamcast. Very, very immersive, but very boring.
Yeah,
and it was one of those like I can't believe you could do all this stuff. Like, early stages. Of that. Sure, really cool. And people were clamoring for Shenmue 3, like finish the story, all that stuff. Finally did. They did like a Kickstarter. Did it. Did not really review that well. Like, it was like okay, here it is. Like turns out
didn't actually
this
want it.
20-year-old game doesn't really hold up.
Yeah.
And now he's doing a mobile game for Netflix.
Sure.
So probably won't play this one, but we'll see.
Yeah. Kiora.
Yep.
Is this is the you thought this was something else actually, but
it said Core Keeper and I thought Cobalt Core. Very different games. Right. I know Core Keeper.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. I think the issue with me here is this is very much a me game. I don't know any friends that would play this with me. So
I'd play it with you.
Okay.
Kind of reminds me, it's not the same at all, but like a Don't Starve Together kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like
maybe
you're digging, exploring, and kind of just like going down.
So I don't know. I liked the art style. I liked kind of what I was seeing. So I would be.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Anything that is like just dig, like kind of like dig and do like a dungeon dive, like I like. So
Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah, exactly.
I did not like that game.
I know.
I was really bored.
I know.
So I'd probably, I don't know. I'll give it a shot. I don't know. I'm trying to be a team player.
I appreciate it.
The next one I'm excited for though.
Yeah.
Re/Match. This
might be the game that gets the boys to play something together. Maybe.
So it's a soccer game.
Yeah.
But it's inside like walls, kind of like a Rocket League.
Yep.
But it's very arcadey, but not too arcadey. So I didn't see any like crazy power-ups or anything necessarily. It looked great though. It's hard for me to kind of describe, but it looked super fluid,
clean.
The moves that they had, like animations, looked sick.
Yeah.
Just, great ball handling. And I'm kind of excited for this. Like this is I love that era of sports games that strikes that perfect balance.
Yep.
Like that really harkens back to some of my favorite sports games.
My only hesitation is it's made by the devs at Sifu, or that did Sifu, which I was not good at. I did not do, and like it required some precise.
So you're thinking it's going to be difficult?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Like I want it to be accessible. I want it to be that kind of like clumsy, not clumsy, but like Rocket League, very high ceiling. Right, but anybody
but great
can play
entry level too.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
so
needs to be that.
As long as you can kind of just jump in and play, and then if you play more, you get better. Like, I'm all in.
Yeah,
but
it's all about that early success.
My thing is, I don't like if I'm running at you. I want I press A to pass, not I have to juke you and then do this weird combination to like get it above.
Fighting game combo.
Yeah, like I want it to be a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. But it looked cool. It looked very cool. So I'm actually very excited for that.
Yeah.
And then we have Solasta 2.
Yep.
Which this was the not Baldur's Gate, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Like good luck. You were making a comment about that, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like they're just pooping their pants.
Yeah. Yeah. What's SRD?
SRD?
Yeah, what's that abbreviation? Like what RPG system is that? Because it's 5th edition SRD, and I don't know what SRD stands for.
Oh. Based on SRD 5e. Oh, like Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, it's 5e? Not. It's not. Yeah, but I don't know. Anyway, it's based on something. So it is.
You can look it up.
There's no universe where this doesn't get compared to Baldur's Gate.
100%.
So it's just like, man.
Well, as soon as they started showing the gameplay, right?
Yeah, it's like good good. And like, I hope they do a good job, you know, like, it's just like, man, that's going to be a tough act to follow. Like, I know how I said like, oh yeah, Dragon's Age is not Baldur's Gate, and it's like, it's completely different. So like, you don't get that comparison. This is like straight up like
turn-based. Yeah. Over the top. Yeah. SRD stands for System Reference Document, which is a collection of rules for a role-playing game that is licensed under a public copyright license. The SRD is a resource that allows other publishers to create material that is compatible with the game.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
you learned something new.
It's a discount Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it would be great, you know?
Buddy, I hope. I like it.
But that's a tall order.
People are clamoring for it. It's just like whenever Baldur's Gate is literally putting out content next year, like significant content,
competing with it.
That's a tough thing to be on.
Then we get huge announcement, The Witcher 4.
Yep.
People are really excited for this, obviously. And I guess this is Ciri, right? Yeah. So...
which they did come out and say, because like you heard Geralt's voice at the end.
Yep.
And they already came out and they're like, yeah, he'll be there. Like,
yeah, like what capacity?
Obviously. Yeah, it's confirmed.
Question.
So, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
And then his voice actor got yelled at.
It looked good. Again, no gameplay. No, like it's just like okay, like
just a teaser.
Yeah,
get you excited.
I don't think that comes out next year.
No way. I don't think they didn't say a date.
Oh yeah.
If they don't say a date, dude, it's definitely not the next year. Because they would, if you know, they would 100% say 2025.
Yeah.
Okay, then we get Elden Ring's next game, right? So 2 back-to-back big ones.
Yep. Standalone, so not an expansion.
Right. So it's a sequel.
Yep.
Which is, dude, people were excited. Zach was super excited. We were watching with Zach. He was
multiplayer.
Yeah. Which I think they already are, right? But maybe this is...
Yeah, but in a Dark Souls way, this looked a little bit more like...
Actual
hey, join my game.
Yeah.
Which I am all for. If I can join someone else that can carry me, and I just kind of bring my dude in...
Yes. This is how you get me to play a Souls game, is just carry me, daddy.
Yeah. Like, I want the exploration.
Yeah.
I don't want to, like, get...
I just want to be an archer in the back and watch Jeff...
And I'll just
roll around and dodge everything and learn all the moves. Yeah.
If that's even the game. Maybe it's not but that's what it looked like.
It did look like that, which I would be intrigued. I want to like a Souls game so bad.
That's it's apparently for 2025, so we might be playing that next year.
It says spin-off.
Yeah.
Co-op action spin-off. Interesting.
Yeah, like same universe.
Yeah, announced for 2025, right. Then we have Project Robot. I don't remember this one at all, actually.
It's the one where the Shadow of Colossus, so it was like scaling that robot and then like flies away as the robot gets...
I thought it was Titanfall.
Destroyed. Yeah.
That was interesting.
This could be cool. I don't know. I was never a big Shadow of the Colossus, Last Guardian, Eco. Shadow of the Colossus was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Because they did that remaster, and I played it, and I was like, this is neat, but like, I don't know if I need another one.
I don't know. I think people are excited for that.
Oh yeah,
people love Shadow of the Colossus, so that'll be interesting. It was a unique trailer.
Yep.
Didn't know what was going on, so we'll see. Then we got Split Fiction.
Yeah, we're playing this next year.
Yeah, because we played It Takes Two.
Yep.
This is the same dude.
Yeah.
Studio. And looked cool. Looked really cool.
Yep.
So
sci-fi, but like they go to medieval era, like kind of like high fantasy stuff. Like,
I actually like this kind of environment more than It Takes Two.
Probably.
Where it's like you shrink down, and which they did a very good job. It was very cool.
Yeah.
But this kind of piques my interest a little bit more. But I had a lot of fun with It Takes Two. I think it was clever and just a good time.
Yeah.
So, this will be good. Then we got Steel Hunters.
Yes.
Wargaming's next IP. 12-person multiplayer shooter.
Yeah, part hero shooter, part battle royale, and part extraction shooter.
This wasn't the one you were talking about during Summer Games Fest, though. I think it was the other one.
I think that's correct.
Yeah. So this is...
So maybe
I think something we haven't seen, maybe. But it's like a mech shooter, right?
Yeah, and it looks cool. Like, it's one of those, like, okay, if it's 12 person, so if it's 6v6 or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot...
Well, I think it might just be individual. If it's battle royale,
it could be.
Or maybe
yeah,
2v2 or whatever.
But... I like that concept.
Yeah.
I like mech stuff. I think it really depends, because there's another one that was like more Gundam style. I don't like that as much. Like I don't like just dashing around, just kind of like flinging swords and trying to do like it's like a one battle thing. I like I'm this big thing that's still mobile, but like it's big environment. It's not like locked in like a little arena battle,
right?
Because the Gundam one looked more DBZ style, where this is like you're just kind of like open world, just kind of attacking everyone.
Sure. No, I think it'll be interesting.
For as bad as Armored Core was, or I shouldn't say bad, but like as stagnant as Armored Core was
Armored Core this year?
Yeah.
It was this year? No, it was last year.
It was last year.
Yeah. Okay. I was like...
It was on sale this year where I almost rebought it.
Couldn't be this year.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Borderlands 4, which we knew was coming.
Yes.
I kind of don't really care about Borderlands anymore. The trailer, so it'll have to draw me back in, but I don't know.
Yeah, the trailer was interesting because it kept going between this like CGI, not really the Borderlands art style, and I got excited because I'm like, oh, maybe they're changing the art style a little bit, making it less cartoony and making it a bit no. And then they went to gameplay, and it's like, yep, this is Borderlands.
They had zero jokes.
No jokes, which I'm okay with.
I am too, because it's gotten way out of hand.
Yeah.
Right.
So if they take another pass at like what is humor in 2025 and that,
go back and play Borderlands 1.
Yeah.
And like it's not as in your face.
Yeah.
It's
much
much
becoming
more
a caricature of itself.
Exactly,
and stuff.
dude.
Yeah.
A lot of these things where it's like, oh, this game's so funny.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes this ridiculous circus of like, oh, we're known for being funny, so it's just jokes, clap chat.
Yeah.
Pooping his pants, isn't that hilarious? It's like,
well, like Tiny Tina makes it work, and
sure,
like you have
but they're
characters.
even overusing her now, where it's like, oh, people love Tiny Tina, let's throw her in everything, and
she's in everything, and everyone is like her, so it's just like everyone's just crazy, and it's just like
it was that dichotomy, that juxtaposition,
yeah,
that made it funny.
Certain characters, like one or two characters, like Mr. like Torque, when it was just like. Stupid, but like okay, you get one of him, like cool,
and
but
it's
when
spaced out.
Everybody's him, it's just not. My biggest gripe with this is we didn't see anything new. Yes, it's new characters. I'm sure they're going to be like different classes, different kind of ways of doing things and stuff like that. But like, I want a new system. I want like you're finding weapon parts and you're making your own weapons and you're doing that stuff. Maybe they'll have something like that, but like if it's literally the exact same gameplay with like reskinned, which we already saw with Tiny Tina. It's like, nah,
it's outplayed.
Pretty good right now. Yeah.
Tiny Tina was like, just kind of, I was bored.
Tiny Tina was okay, and I finally got to the end game, and I got excited for the end game because I'm like, okay, this is going to be like Diablo, like, but it's like the arenas were too small. It was like it was very repetitive. It wasn't like Borderlands 2 where you were just grinding for the thing.
Right.
Everything that they've put out since Borderlands 2 has been exploitable and repeatable, and like you could just do that thing.
Well, I think the dialogue as well has gone downhill after Borderlands 2, one of the best games.
I liked Borderlands 3 main story. I thought it was actually kind of nice. Okay. Was it? But you're not going to beat Handsome Jack. So it's like, do you get Handsome Jack back or is it just going to be another?
Yeah, right.
We'll see. Yeah. I'm not super high on this.
Okay.
But who knows? Maybe they'll turn it around once they show more.
Yeah, we'll see. Then we got Clive Rosfield in Tekken 8.
Yep.
Thoughts?
Not what I would have wanted. I think I would have picked any other. When I say any other, I mean like literally any other Final Fantasy. If you needed a Final Fantasy character,
agreed.
Anyone else?
I wouldn't say anyone. I wouldn't have done anyone from 16.
Name me a character. Oh, well, I'm not. Okay, so any other game.
Yes.
Any other game.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just felt like
Tifa's right there.
Tifa is right there, which is just
literally
crazy.
Fists.
And what I'm really upset about is this probably means that there's not going to be another Final Fantasy character
Correct.
in Tekken 8.
Yeah, that's
so like this is their one, and this
is your guest character from that,
and that sucks because I think Tifa. I would have rather you wait on Final Fantasy and get Tifa later.
So here's the only thing I guess with that would be like, I mean he reads all the feedback, Harada, right? So like.
Well, he knows everyone wants Tifa. He knows that. Like, whenever all that was coming out, he was like, look, there's a lot that goes into getting characters from other...
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, that's their prized possession. Yeah. That's going to be tough to get. But from just a technical standpoint, it makes the most sense out of almost anyone.
I mean, we're getting, theoretically, if what he says is correct, 40 characters. So you get 4 characters a year, 10 years. So with 40 characters?
Yeah, eventually. It might be like when the third part comes out, that's when you get Tifa.
Like,
because that's like
all the Tekken characters come back.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have every single one, probably.
Of course.
And if
Anna's going to be winter.
I don't think.
Of next year. I'd put a cheeseburger on that.
What?
Anna's going to be winter of next year. She's going to be the first one for season 2.
Will it be spring of next year?
Whatever.
Yeah.
She's going to be the first one.
Yeah, Clive is winter, and then spring will be Anna. Yes, I agree with you.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because Anna's coming in season 2, which is starting next year.
Spring. So, yeah, you're right. Yep. She's going to be the first one. I'm excited for her.
They're tough.
Well, I always think it's coming out like the beginning of the year, which is still winter in my mind. So
that's
I don't
fair.
know. Whatever. I don't know. It's not the worst.
No, he might be cool.
He looks very cool, but he looked very out of place.
He's Lars. Like, it's Lars with a sword. Like, if you want
it's
type
Noctis
of character,
all over again. Yeah, but people loved Noctis, so it's
Noctis at least looked different and was like, this guy is literally like,
I don't think he's Lars at all.
He gives out some Lars vibes. You kidding me?
Don't agree with that assessment.
Right, well.
Lars is dumb and stupid.
Yeah,
and
Clive is dumb and stupid. He just is acting
Clive's
really well.
Literally the best part of that game.
Yeah, I know. He is.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful.
Yep.
I should probably just buy the season pass just to have everyone. I have given them a lot of money already, though.
Yeah.
Then we get new Virtua Fighter, which is I wanted Kiryu from what's it called, Yakuza, and because Virtua Fighter's coming out, they're gonna keep him, so that's why we didn't get him.
Okay.
That'll be their big guest character. Yep. So it's like, shit.
That's fair.
That would have been sick, though. That's kind of, so I wanted, obviously, Tifa first for Tekken.
Yeah.
Not to keep going back to Tekken, but that's kind of our thing, apparently. He was like my second. This would have been awesome. He would have been so sick. He's just a brawler, dude. But
I don't know who I would have wanted. Like, from a guest character standpoint.
Yeah.
I would love to see like a Hagar from Final Fight. Or something from like a Marvel Capcom scenario.
Yeah.
I think that could be cool.
That would be cool.
But
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Like, I want like a big dude. Like, I want someone that's like Jack level, like just suspenders and just broad chest. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, new Virtua Fighter. So I've never.
I did not care for Virtua Fighter. I was very much Tekken.
Yeah.
Virtua Fighter for me felt very stiff, similar to Street Fighter.
Yep.
But 3D, and Tekken just always felt more fluid to me.
Sure.
So that's just that's something I got to break.
Yeah, I'm not a big fighting game guy, so
I
defer to you on that. But the next one we get is Project Century, which is, speaking of Yakuza guy, the Like a Dragon devs specifically, I guess. They're doing 1915 Japan.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting.
And it's an action game, so it's not
third-person action.
Yeah, which I dig that.
That's more up your alley.
Yeah.
The one I remember about this, and Nate's exactly right, is they kept doing like the swing music for Japan, which I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But it's a great marketing tactic because I remembered that.
The music wasn't even around in 1915, right?
No, like Japan got Americanized, quote unquote, after World War II.
Right.
Because we stationed.
But what I'm saying is, like, that music that was playing.
Oh, no, that's accurate. Yeah.
Was it?
I mean, a little early.
Okay.
Because that's more 20s, but it's there.
Okay.
It's not totally out of place.
All right. Yeah. Well, whatever.
No. The music's not the issue. It's the location.
Yeah.
Which is like, they're going for a specific vibe, sure. A lot of feudal Japan stuff. This isn't feudal Japan, but a lot of Japan stuff.
Less than Summer Awards, but still.
It's just
It's just gonna keep coming.
That's the hot topic. That's the new zombies, I guess. Turok Origins.
Yeah, Turok. Yeah.
Which is the dinosaur stuff.
Yep.
I didn't even know. I'm not even familiar with this game.
Yeah,
you
Turok,
guys knew it apparently.
Yeah, in 64, I'm 90% sure they did like some sort of version on the 360. I think there was an arcade game, like you go to the arcades. I think there's like a Turok shooter.
Yeah.
This looked cool. Like anything that is letting, like, The one thing I missed from this year is multiplayer. Like we played some Call of Duty. I really enjoyed that, and obviously like balloons and stuff like that. But like I miss like, oh, we're gonna play Turok tonight, or whatever, like something. But so if this is just something that we could play together, then I'm all in. But it looked cool. Like shooting dinosaurs is cool. It's better than like giant insects. Like that's what I'm sick of. Yeah, is just the giant insects.
Right.
So
yeah.
Speaking
of giant insects, Warframe 1999.
Sure.
I actually don't know if there's insects. It looked insecty.
It was pretty insecty.
Or no, it was it zombie-esque? I don't know.
No, that was later on. That was the Helldivers one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Which is next.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Warframe.
You're more into Warframe.
I am not. I could not get into Warframe.
Well, you guys were talking about it, and you're like, I wish. Like everyone we were with was like, I wish I liked this. I wish I liked this, which is interesting.
It was that free to play thing that like whenever I played it, they didn't figure it out yet.
Yeah.
And this looks nothing like I remember from Warframe. So they even joked on the stage, they're like, we don't know what this game is anymore, but we're still gonna put stuff out.
Right. Good for them.
It's popular.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they're doing
like
well.
They're still going. Like I was in GameStop whenever they were putting stuff out for this. So like it's been over a decade.
Yep. Yeah. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Which it's out. It's out now.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay, nice. Perfect.
Yep. So it was out as of yesterday, which is interesting. Then we got Splitgate 2.
Yep.
Which, interesting as well.
Interesting that they called it 2.
Yeah, people were really high on Splitgate when it first came out, but it kind of like a dying sun. Kind of blew up and then...
Yeah, Halo came out. That was the thing is like...
Yeah, but Halo also fell off as well.
It doesn't matter. Like once your player base goes down, it's just like, okay, Halo, and then and whatever the next one is, probably Call of Duty or something.
Yeah.
But you just... The Eye of Sauron moves away from your game and it just withers. Obviously not withered enough to not spawn a sequel when they're doing stuff, but like because Halo died... Yeah, Splitgate might.
I think doing something. 2 is a smart move in this situation.
Yeah.
I don't always agree with it. Like in Overwatch, for example, I think that's a horrible move.
Yep.
But for this, I think, kind of reinvigorate and then get that audience back.
If you saw
because Halo's not going to come out with anything that quick. So it's like you got the advantage for a while.
But the thing with Splitgate is like, and we're both looking at the same picture, but like you look at that picture, it's like, it looks like Halo. Like it just straight up looks like Halo.
Destiny to me.
Or Destiny, that's fair too. Yeah.
But I think it'll be cool. Everyone liked it. I think it's interesting enough.
Yeah.
And we'll see what they add to it though, because they really got to kind of pull out all the stops here. This is their chance, you know?
Yep.
Onimusha.
Yeah, Onimusha.
Way of the Sword. So this is Capcom.
Yep.
And I actually don't remember this one at all.
This is one with like all the zombie looking samurai guys.
Oh, we saw this at Summer Games Fest, right?
Swordplay. If this is this was a new one.
That
kind of leads into how many Field Japan games there are.
It's all blended together.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
Like, it looks neat. I think the driving factor here is it a Souls-like?
Yep.
If it's a Souls-like, my
that's right.
excitement goes way down because
it did look
like
cool.
That's not if I'm cutting through a bunch of zombies with a katana, I'm in.
Done.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
If I have to like parry and dodge, I'm not saying like it can't be challenging. I'm just saying like give me a katana, give me like Arkham combat, and just make it a fun arcade like hack and slash thing.
Sure.
That's what I'm craving.
Right.
And no game really has come out with that just yet.
Yeah.
So recently anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it'll be interesting to see. And then we have Stage Fright, which was Overcooked developers.
Yep.
And a split screen again, right? So we were joking that what's his face was like cussing at him. This was the funniest thing for me though. Like they did one of those like the stage goes dark.
Yeah.
And it just cuts to Jeff. Like what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Keighley
it was like the worst acting job of all time. This was fine. It's this same concept as the other game, which I am forgetting now, but
this will be interesting because it'll
split screen, like, co-op. You're in two different areas and you're affecting each other's whatever. So it's more cartoon, more, whatever. But
I want to say, I could be wrong here. I don't think they have it listed, but I think Hello Games is publishing this.
Oh.
Which is No Man's Sky.
Interesting.
I think. I could be wrong there, but it was interesting.
says inspired by Luigi's Mansion, which is...
Yeah, co-op escape room inspired by Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, interesting.
I never played Luigi's Mansion, so I'd be down for this.
But people love that.
It looks like we got some good co-op games coming out next year. Like we can...
ask and you shall receive, I guess. Right? Like, we'll see how it goes.
Play some stuff. All right.
Then we get Sonic Racing.
Yeah.
Which, sure.
Do you guys not remember the Sonic Racing? Like you were like surprised.
No.
It's like that kind of defeats the purpose of Sonic. Like Sonic Racing was like been around for ages.
Well, it defeats the purpose of Sonic because he's fast.
Well, he's fast, but like...
Oh, so he slows himself down to drive?
He's fast. Sonic is fast. I don't think he's faster than
I think he's 100% faster than a car.
A car?
Yes.
Whatever, maybe.
Sonic's fast.
Well, whatever. Then he speeds himself down.
Gotta go fast. Sonic slows himself down by going into a car. That sounds exactly like Sonic.
Yeah, he's a man of honor.
Sure.
Whatever. It looked cool.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
I'll be interested to see how it plays because I liked it.
Sure.
Did not play as good as Mario. Mario Kart felt better.
Mario Kart's high bar.
Mario Kart's a high bar. The game I actually like more than Mario Kart.
Yeah. Snowboarders
Mod Nation Racers.
Ooh.
I think Mod Nation Racers from a control standpoint.
Yeah.
I think it was as tight, if not better than Mario Kart, and it felt very, very good.
I have been told that Cool Borders, I think it's called Cool Borders.
Cool Borders too?
Yeah. I've been told from sources that's the game.
That's the game.
That's better than Mario Kart.
All right.
So never
it.
Played it.
Maybe we see if we can get it. I don't even know how you play that.
It's an old game.
Yeah, I know.
So we got to emulate it. You're the emulator guy now.
I'll look into it.
Then we get into Mafia Old Country, which is one of the bigger ones that they were revealing. I never played a Mafia game. I would probably like them because they're very cinematic and, I like that. I don't know why I kept talking about this, but it's in English, which was really bugging me.
Yeah, they're in Italy, but it's,
Because, I don't know, any mob film you watch, like The Godfather, anytime they go to, like, they're not speaking English in Italy. Yeah. They have the subtitles. So I'm like, I guess I'm used to that.
I'm sure there's going to be an option for it. I
will do it.
I just think like, and we were talking about that with.
And I'm not normally a subtitles guy. Like I watch anime in English. Yeah. Always. So
I can't read subtitles and do the action at the same time. Like that's my
that's
problem.
the thing you were talking about, right? Yeah. So I think a lot of it though, there's probably 1,000 cutscenes in this game. It's probably all cutscenes.
It looked very cinematic.
That's what I remember Mafia being, like just a movie.
Mafia just never, especially the third one, which I think my cousin actually liked, and he was pretty high on it. I could be wrong there, but it just never clicked with me. I was just like, I don't like this, and like it's very. They've already gone out in front of people saying like, hey, this is very different than Grand Theft Auto. So like, please don't compare us to Grand Theft Auto. It's like, okay,
I never compared those two.
Yeah, people. I'm just saying what they're saying. It's no different than people who are like, hey, we're not Baldur's Gate. We'll see. Right. I think this is probably going to be a U game. Like I've seen a couple stuff from it now, and I just like I'm not feeling anything. Like I have no desire for that.
Yeah. I'm curious. I would give it a shot. This might be a game that I would see the reviews first. Like if it sucks, I'm not going to waste my money, but yeah, I might give it a shot if it's like a red. Okami sequel.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are excited for this. This is the one with the dog,
Capcom
right?
Capcom is like popping off, man. Like they are just kind of in the back. Like they're not like they're just doing things, which is super cool, but like they're just nonstop.
Yeah, Jeff was super excited for this. I remember he played that kind of recently, maybe the last year or two, because he's got that people can recommend games to him. I think this was one of those.
I never played. They remastered it, and I bought that.
Yeah, I think he played the remaster. Maybe he'll have to correct me, but people love this game, so I think a lot of people are excited. So that's really cool. I think you're exactly right, though. I think Capcom's in a good spot.
Well, Capcom is Monster Hunter, right? Yeah. So like it's just like they're already going to have a Game of the Year contender. Yep. So like
Street Fighter's going well, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think they're doing well. Now we get to this is the last one, biggest of the night.
Yep.
Intergalactic.
The Heretic Prophet.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is Naughty Dog. So this is the first Naughty Dog property that's new in quite some time, right?
Yeah.
It's not a Last of Us. It's not
Last of Us 2 is coming to PC. That was one of the announcements. I'm kind of over it.
Here's the thing too. Jeff was also yelling at me. At this point, I was in his chat. He's like, "Fuck you, John." I was like, "I love Naughty Dog. Yes. I would like to get this on the record. I love Naughty Dog, right? I grew up with a lot of their games. Like they made, was it Naughty Dog Ratchet and Clank?
No, Naughty Dog was Crash Bandicoot.
I think they're also Ratchet and Clank.
You could be right. I don't
or
know.
maybe that's Insomniac.
It's Insomniac.
Okay, yeah. I hate Naughty Dog. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, Crash was good. What else did they do though?
Naughty Dog?
Yeah,
did some stuff.
All right, now I have to look it up. Anyways, okay. I really like Naughty Dog. Last of Us 1 is one of my favorite games. I think it's in my top 100.
Yeah.
So, and Last of Us 2 is a good game. I just hated what they did. But I think
Jack and Daxter.
That's what it is. Yeah, which is great. Sure. Anyways, so I do like Naughty Dog, and I'm excited for this. I thought the trailer was super cool. I liked the style of it. The product placements were interesting, but kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Your Porsche spaceship and Adidas kicks were cool. But, and I think that location, like space and stuff, a lot of potential there.
It's like, how I'm big on pirates.
Yeah.
Nothing's
Space
more pirates. Yeah, space pirates. It's even cooler. Like, I am there.
You're
like,
in.
Please. If you're a bounty hunter in space, say no more. I'm there.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally why I bought into Star Citizen. So, like, let's go.
Yeah. No, they said that they got inspiration from, like, Cowboy Bebop and something else. I forget what else they were saying. But I was like, 100%. Yeah. That showed. Like, and me, I love Cowboy Bebop. So, like, I love that style.
Yeah, it's Kumail is it Nanjiani? But he's the guy from like Silicon Valley and stuff like that.
Right.
His picture popped up and it's literally just like his face.
Yeah.
So I was like,
wait a minute.
He's in all that stuff. Dude, he's jacked. He is a jacked man.
Yeah, roids will do that, dude.
Well, whatever. Whatever's working for him. But
yeah.
I'm excited. We were joking. Well, I almost ruined it for you, but Polygon had a bunch of like weird links come through on the RSS feed that I subscribe to.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were like, they talked about the Elden Ring link in the Power World, which I don't even think we talked about Power World on here, but there's a new Power World expansion.
On there. Yeah.
Stuff like that. And we were like, oh no. Because it
was checking everything off. Yeah.
Half-Life 3 was on one of them.
Yeah.
And then Keighley was just like, all right, and we have one thing. They've been working on this in secret and blah, 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 blah. And we're just like, oh, buddy. Like, I felt so bad.
Well, yeah, he was like, this is going to change the gaming industry forever. I was like, fuck. I thought it was Half-Life 3.
Somehow, the fact that it wasn't Half-Life 3, and then they showed that, made that even better.
Yeah.
Because it truly was not expected.
And then it was like, this is cool. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, okay, could this be how you do Starfield? Could this be how you do Star Wars Outlaws? Which we don't even know what this game is yet. We're assuming it's Uncharted in space or whatever, but like, that could be really, really.
It was getting a lot of hate though, at least what I was seeing.
This game,
people do not like Neil Druckmann.
Sure.
So
sure,
I think that's something to point out.
Yep.
I suppose I am excited, but. Again, I really hated the direction of Last of Us 2, so...
His partner's gone now. Is that correct?
I don't know.
I'd have to look into that. That's actually in one of the books I'm reading now, is because I just read the history of Uncharted.
Oh, interesting.
And how like Amy Hennig left, and they brought someone else on. They redid it all and everything, because it was
Uncharted's Naughty Dog?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Uncharted, Last of Us, Jack and Daxter.
Yeah. Is that it?
I mean, Crash.
I thought they were doing...
Crash.
The Last of Us stuff. They're working on that, but I thought they also had something else that they were doing.
Well, they put in Uncharted 4. They injected that. So they did Last of Us.
Yeah.
Amy Hennig was working on Uncharted 4. And then there was just disagreements and different things like that. She got booted and just left the project. And then they brought them on. And they were just like, hey, we're just going to like... Because like originally, like, Nathan... Did you ever play Uncharted 4?
Yeah.
Like his brother was going to be like the bad guy and stuff like that. So they redid all of it.
Wow.
And they not all of it, but like they scrapped a lot.
Yeah.
It was fascinating. Yeah. That's on the current book I'm reading.
Sure.
Between all my smutty things.
Oh God.
Ugh.
Anyways, so that was the Game Awards. Another one in the books.
That was it. Yeah.
which I thought was really well done.
Yeah.
I was excited.
I like all the announcements. I think were, like I said, like interesting. Like I'm like I would play 99% of these games, like for sure. So I'm excited. I'm excited to play some stuff with you. I'm excited to like just kind of see what's coming out. I'm excited for a reset too, because like so many things happened from like September to the end of the year. A million games launched, and it was just like, oh, we don't have the time to like get through everything.
Yeah, I wish there's like 3 games I wish I could have got to.
You should play Dragon Age at some point.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my absolute best to at least start it before next week, so we can at least talk about it. I'm gonna try my best. Okay. It's not looking great, but I'm gonna try.
Shake that 8 ball is like not looking good.
Not looking good, but I'm definitely not getting to Star Wars.
Yeah.
I wanted to play Dragon Age. I wanted to play Star Wars, and well, the funny thing is, during the Game Awards, they were showing like a commercial for Star Wars. It's like 30% off with improved gameplay, and I'm like, oh, so the gameplay is like wasn't good.
I told you it wasn't.
I know, but it's just like they admitted that it was like really funny.
Specifically, the stealth was really awful, and that's coming from a guy that loves stealth.
That's what I was excited for.
Yes.
Is like I could sneak in to infiltrate this base, and
but here's the thing: you sneak in to infiltrate the base. If they see you, the game just stops and you start over from the beginning of that stage.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't get the option?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
That's why it sucks.
Yeah.
Now they fixed that. Sure. Supposedly, I haven't tried it since they did the update.
Dude, they had improved
big
gameplay.
Update. Yeah, big update
with a little pop box and font.
That sounds like a Starfield thing.
I don't know.
With more planets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, I knew Starfield was doomed as soon as they said they had 1 million planets.
You should absolutely prioritize Dragon Age, because I just want your honest opinion.
It is next.
As someone who also loves Mass Effect 2.
But Metaphor is consuming.
Large. Yeah.
Super large. And
I'm doing indie.
What was the third one? It was Wukong was the third one.
Yeah.
Which I'm never getting to.
I don't think you would like Wukong, but
Jeff really wanted me to play it, so I was like, I was going to do my best. But yeah, I got super behind. Again, a lot of the games that I played this year are just so long that, and you know me, I always finish, for the most part, games I start. Did not finish Dragon's Dogma 2, though. Couldn't.
Screw you, Zelda.
Or Zelda.
Yeah.
Zelda was a tough slog, too.
Yeah, I got Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
doing the. I was taking my time, but now that people have been talking about it, it's like, hey man, get out of the Vatican. Like, just keep moving. Because I'm like, this kind of is. Like, I spent like 2 hours playing, and I did like one thing. I'm like, what is going on right now? So I'm gonna try to like maybe mainline it, and then February is packed with Civ and Monster Hunter, and just it's so much stuff. So.
Yeah, I think I'll do Indiana Jones in January.
Yeah.
And then I like having the reset, dude, where it's like, okay, clean slate.
Yeah.
I'm back on track.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, I do want to get to those other games, but I don't know, 2025 takes priority at that point.
How much do you like Indiana Jones? Like, is a franchise? Like, are you big
7 out of 10?
Yeah, I mean, you were born in 97, so you're not a huge
indie guy. I like Star Wars way better than indie.
I would say personally, and I know that this will probably go against your, we got to play the new stuff, but
this is probably not.
I would say Dragon Age would be a better use of your time. Honestly, even Star Wars versus Indiana Jones. From what I'm playing so far, I think that those games are going to be up your alley. Now, the only thing I would say too, though, is Indiana Jones is very immersive. Like almost too immersive, I would say.
You like me, me though. Like I love the immersion.
Yeah,
I park my cars in Cyberpunk and walk instead of fast traveling. Yep. So
honestly, then I might take everything back, and you might. Well, Star Wars has that. You can like park your speeder bike, and you have to go back to your speeder bike. To
I love that shit.
Yeah,
I literally park my car in Cyberpunk, walk up the elevator, get a burrito, even though I don't need the health. Because I just want to eat. I have a whole routine in Cyberpunk, dude.
If you want immersion,
open my blinds, drink a coffee.
Star Wars is immersion.
Dude, it's hilarious. Yikes. I have a whole morning routine.
The thing is, you do all that, like, I skip all that, and I still feel like you just blow through these games way more than I could possibly do it. I don't know. I really like Cyberpunk. It's one of my favorites. Yeah.
It's in my top 10.
Yeah.
It's like, that is like, everything I want in a game, man.
I was looking at my top 25 mug again, and I'm like, I feel
very good about it.
Very good. Like,
that's awesome.
That is my top 25. I feel solid on.
Yeah,
After
I think I'm the
wishy-washy,
same. Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah. Did I get a mug? I didn't get a mug.
You did not get a mug.
Yeah.
I gave you a poster.
I should bring the poster to hang it up here.
I don't know where you're gonna hang it.
Yeah, we don't have any space. But I think it'd be cool to hang up our posters here so that we can be like, when we're in the midst of an argument, I can just be like, look at what's number 3 on your list. You tell me you don't like that kind of game.
I'll figure something out. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere, but theoretically it'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. I think that's all we got.
Yep.
A little long today, but I feel like it's always like that for Game of the Year.
Next year's going to be longer. Next year's going to be like a 3-hour.
Are we at 3 hours? We're
no,
at 2
that's only
right?
one. This is only 1:45.
Oh, dude, that's super
perfect.
short for Game of the Year.
Yeah,
last year was like 2.5.
No, right? Yeah, last year. Yeah, next week. Next week's gonna be a big one.
Next week's a huge one.
What killed Jeff? Jeff's on. We're gonna be talking our Game of the Years.
Yeah.
Tons of categories, tons of debates.
There's like 50 categories.
Yeah, and then we're gonna.
That's gonna be like.
And then
4
we're gonna
hours
do a
long.
top 5.
It's gonna be so long. We gotta move on that. We gotta cook on that.
It's good.
But this is what I look forward to every year. This is why I play those games. This is why I try to keep current on games, because it's like I want to have enough to talk about.
Yeah.
And so check us out next week, the big show. Check us out, couchcompany.games. We got all our ratings on there, all the episodes. If you want to go back, got reviews on there too. Tyler added specific segments from the podcast, so if you want to listen just to the review, got that. So that's good stuff. And we're gonna be here same time, same place next week. Thanks for joining us on the couch. Peace.